Hi everyone, today let's look at the Leet code problem 1790. Check if one string swap can make strings equal. The heading is slightly misleading, so I can just tell you what is the crux of the problem. Now you are given two strings. Both strings are expected to be of equal length and you are allowed to make one swap of characters within S1 or maybe S2, one of these strings, and then both strings should be equal. So when we mean swap here, if you see S1, I could swap between K and B in S1, then that will become equal to S2. That's the background of the question. Let's take some examples and see how to solve this problem. Now let's take this case and let me tell you the approach that I am going to show here. So first thing is we will have a character map. So, and maybe I just wanted to let you know one more thing. Always look at the constraints. So if you see here, the constraints also tells in this problem that you are only going to have lowercase English letters. I could create a character map which is of 26 alphabet characters. So that is A to Z. For the first array, I will increment the count of that corresponding character. So what I'm referring to is now here B will become 1, and for the element in the second array we will decrement the element in the character array. So this will become -1. The idea here is that by the time we finish passing through all the elements, we will increment the element in the first array and decrement in the second array, and as a result finally the character map should have 0 for all the characters. But if you see, that will only satisfy one condition of the problem. We are also only allowed one swap. So that means for a given two arrays you can have a maximum mismatch of 2. If there is more than 2 mismatch, then a single swap will not solve the problem. As a part of that, you also need to keep track of the mismatch. Now, based on all what I have said, let's go through this problem once more. So if you see here, first we will take the count of B here. We will increment it. So this will become, B will be equal to 1 in this character map. But K we will subtract. So this will become -1. So now the mismatch count is 1 here. Now next A and A. So this what will happen is first A will get incremented and in the second array A will get decremented. So A will end up being 0 here. Then the next one and there is no mismatch. Now next we come to N. As you can see here, N and N. So that is again same. N will become 0 here. And finally we will increment K. So K will become 0. And B will get decremented here because it's a second element. So it is the element in the second array, and the mismatch count will become 2. Now if you see, since the mismatch count is 2 and this entire character map is 0, we can tell that for this one this is almost equal, and with one swap we'll be able to make both arrays equal. Now let's take another example and see how this applies to this below array. At first, A will be equal to 1 and D will be equal to -1. If you follow the same approach as above. B will be, and mismatch count will be 1. Then B is equal to 1 and C is equal to -1. Again there's a mismatch. At this point now C will become, now when we come to the third character, C will become 0, B will become 0. But again there's a mismatch. Then finally D will be equal to 0 and A will be equal to 0. As you can see here, even if there is a it's like an anagram here, right? Both have the same set of characters, but there is 4 mismatches here. So that means in a one swap you will not be able to make the two strings equal. So this we will be returning false. And now this is a very special case where you will not have any mismatch. It doesn't even need one swap. So this is already equal. So we will return true in this case. Now let's see how to code this up. So we'll start with a character map. Now we'll iterate through each element in the array. I'm just tweaking slightly from the above logic, but I can explain it here. So, and we'll also keep track of the mismatch as mentioned above. We'll first check if there is a mismatch of characters. So as mentioned above, we will increment mismatch. Then what we'll do is we'll just increment character map of S1 of I minus A plus plus, and we will decrement for the second one. For the other ones, I am not incrementing or decrementing because it will end up being 0. For the first string, we will increment, and for the second string, we will decrement. So here I'm only doing it only if there is a difference. Now, after we come out of this for loop, first condition that we will check is mismatch greater than true. If it's greater than true, you can just return false. Otherwise, what we'll do is if mismatch not equal to 0, we'll check through the char map and see if there is any non-zero element. If CNT not equal to 0, then return false. Otherwise, just return true. Time complexity will be order of n, and space complexity will be order of 26. So that means it will be order of 1. Let's run this and see what is the output. So looks good. This also looks good. Hope this is clear. Thank you. Have a good one.